Get ready for Dani Johnson.
Get ready for some powerful strategies financially.
Get a grip on your finances.
2% of the population will do well financially.
Only 2%?
Learn how to unlock the financial kingdom.
Dani's got the keys. Finances, love, life, relationships.
Listen in right now to the Dani Johnson Show.
The Dani Johnson Show.
Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. We really are blessed that you decided to join us today. You and I are going to have a really good discussion. Have you ever heard the term the American dream? Well, obviously here on the Dani Johnson Show, we're about redefining success. What a good topic to redefine right there. The American dream. What is it? Is it about houses and cars and clothes and shoes or eating out? Is it about the kids' college tuition? Is it about spending $50,000 on your daughter's wedding? Is that what the American dream is? Is that what it started out to be? You know, there's a gentleman in 1913 that said that the phrase, the American dream, said that it meant more than having motor cars and high wages. What was the American dream, and what has the American dream turned into? You and I have been sold a bill of goods, my friend. I'm telling you, you might be chasing after something right now that is a complete waste of your time. As I chased some things for a while that weren't only a waste of time, but they came with such a bitterness. They came at such a high price. I am so glad that at this stage in my life, that it is not so much about what America has sold me to be the American dream, but that I've learned to define success in my dream that is not so much about what other people think or what others are going after, but what is for me? I ask the same for you. You see, you have a destiny, as I have a destiny. And I believe in that destiny for you. And I believe that that destiny is paved with a road, and there's a journey. And in that journey, there is successes, and there's some great rip-roaring, horrifying failures and some suffering that goes along with it too. All designed to teach us, to mold us, and give us a stronger foundation, all to prepare us for where we are going, instead of keeping us stuck in a rut like most people are living in every single day. I believe that that road to success is different for everybody. I believe that there are some common things on each road to success, as there are laws of success, like the laws I defined in the book, First Steps to Wealth. Well, I've used these laws. They have worked, and every single day, 6 days a week, actually, here on the Dani Johnson Show on radio or television, or 24 hours a day on the website, DaniJohnson.com, we really believe in helping to equip you to greater levels of success. And if you happen to be in a suffering right now, today's show is going to pick you up, brush off those knees, bandage up the blood, disinfect what needs to be disinfected, and put you right back on the path where you belong. And if you are already, you are living it. Things are going great. You're in that wonderful season. It seems like a harvest time every day, all the time. If you're in that place, we want to make sure that you stay on the right track during this season of blessing that you are in. That you're prepared, perhaps, for what the next season will be. Because following the harvest is what? Usually winter. I'm sorry to tell you the truth, but it is winter. And if you've been wise during the harvest time, if you've been wise in the season of plenty, you have nothing to fear when the winter comes, because you are prepared. You have saved. You haven't been stupid, and you haven't blown all the harvest thinking it's going to last forever like I did for the first 10 years of my life. So anyway, today we are going to redefine success, and what we're going to attack is, what is the American dream? What are some of the dreams that you have completely given up on? Have you decided that you're too old? Have you decided that you're too young? Have you come to that place of going, it's too hard, forget it? If that is you, 844-200-3264. Again, that's 844-200-3264. Let's talk, because I believe that there's a vision inside of you. There's a destiny that is calling you by your first, middle, and last name. It's haunting you, saying, come on, we can do this, let's go. And you might be trying to ignore that voice. You might be trying to run from that destiny. But today's show is going to propel you on the right path to get there. So I'm going to work with you today that if no matter which part of the journey you're on, let's make sure that we get on the right track and that we stay there. 844-200-3264. I have to tell you, there was a time where I gave up my dream. I did. I had a big, huge passion for seeing people succeed. And for 10 years, I worked diligently and hard in helping other people succeed. I built companies around helping people reach their financial goals, their business goals, their family and their relationship, even some of their health goals. 10 years I did that to the tune of hundreds of thousands of people's lives who were infected with a different way of thinking. Many of them today have huge amounts of success. It's really been a beautiful thing. But there was a season after some really hard, only emotionally hard times that I had, where I just threw in the towel. It was pretty sad and pathetic what actually got me to throw in the towel and say, forget it, it's not worth it. It was just one person. It was just one person's false accusations. It was just one person with the wrong heart that I allowed to sleep inside deep within my heart and begin to dismantle everything that I believed. That was dumb. And for 4 years, I was retired and I became a full-time mother. Prior to that, I only worked 20 hours a week. I was still a full-time mother and a part-time business owner. And so now I was a full-time mother and no part-time business owner. And I became incredibly miserable. Oh, don't hear me wrong. I loved my kids, as I still love them passionately today, even when they're brats, even when, I can't even go there right now. But I love cooking, and I love taking care of the home, and I love things being in order. However, my destiny was calling out to me about helping people. You see, anytime my husband's cousins, who were like 12 and 14, would come to the house, I just couldn't help myself but to begin to pour into their lives and get them to start dreaming and talking about what they wanted to do. For some of them, it was like pulling teeth. They had just completely lost. They had no vision at all. They never had one. They kind of grew up in an environment where there wasn't really vision talked about, or like there were dreams that were dreamt. You know, it was just, you go to work, you pay bills, you get married, you have kids, you pay more bills. This is just kind of life. And both of them just became very, I don't know, is that all there is? Is this the good life? House and cars and kids and shopping and baseball games? There has to be more to this. There has to be more to life than this. So even with them, and then a few of the other moms that were around, or a few people at church, I just couldn't help myself. I had to begin the conversation of pulling better out of them and beginning to dream. And then after 4 years of being in this miserable place, it was obvious of what I was supposed to do. And I was supposed to get out there and teach first steps to success and creating a dynasty to people that I did not know. And begin to help people beyond my own personal center of influence, but to help people that were across the globe with some simple little success principles that work. Man, once I got back in that saddle, my friend, once I started to dream again, my friend, I'm telling you, something came alive like it had never been alive before. So even if you're at that place where you have just said, forget it, I can't see it anymore, it's just too hard, it's too late, the game is almost over, there's no point in me trying to put the jersey on and get in the game and try to win it. There's just no point. I'm here to tell you there is a point. Well, Dani, you're still young. Really? I got 5 children and 7 grandchildren. I'm old enough to have that. And it'd be really easy to retire. It'd be really easy to just kick back on some beach in Nicaragua enjoying the good life, enjoying my horse and my surfboard and maybe having Rosa cook dinner instead of Dani cooking dinner. Yeah, it'd be so easy to go and do that and affecting nobody's lives. So I don't know what your dream is, but I want you right now to just begin to entertain. Perhaps there is one in you that you haven't been listening to. Perhaps there is a destiny inside of you that you've not given it enough time or thought and haven't even explored. How could I actually make that happen? Today's the day we're going to do that. Today's that day. 844-200-3264 is my number. Again, that's 844-200-3264. You see, sometimes our dream and the destiny that's calling out of us doesn't fit the American dream. It doesn't fit what other people say is successful. We then kind of become confused. Like, well, gosh, shouldn't I want those things? Shouldn't I want that house in that nice neighborhood? Shouldn't I want my kids to be spoiled rotten? Shouldn't I want to make lots and lots of money? And then we begin to feel like if our goals don't add up, if our destiny doesn't add up to that stuff, there must be something wrong with us. So we should be pursuing what everybody else is pursuing. And then we find ourselves miserable even there. We do. But here's the facts. Yours is yours. But their destiny is theirs. And by the way, a whole lot of people are following somebody else's destiny. They are. A whole lot of people. I'd say, in fact, millions of people are trying to live out somebody else's destiny. And that stinks. I've been there. I've done that. Oh, gosh, did I ever, right? 27 years ago when I got started in business, the very first millionaire that I had the chance to learn from, oh, he certainly sold me and told me exactly what the American dream was. Yeah. It meant that I could buy anything I wanted whenever I wanted and for whomever I wanted to buy it for, myself, and if I wanted to buy it for somebody else. He taught me that success was driving a Mercedes. He taught me that success was spending $4,000 cash in Nordstrom all in one day. He taught all of us, actually, all of us very young, impressionable individuals. He painted a picture for us that success was flying first class, that success was having millions of dollars in the bank, that success was choosing to work or not work, that success was being able to provide that $50,000 wedding for our daughters. Yeah, that success was owning a yacht and entertaining people on it. That's what I was sold 27 years ago. And I started to live out his destiny, the life he wanted. And you know what? It stunk. It was terrible. Have you ever tried to put on somebody else's shoes that simply don't fit you? Have you ever done that? Have you ever tried to squeeze into somebody else's pair of jeans that are 2 sizes too small for you? Come on. You're trying to live in somebody else's destiny, somebody else's form? Perhaps are you wearing somebody else's dream instead of running towards your own? A lot of people are, but today is the day that's going to stop. Today here on the Dani Johnson Show, where we redefine success, you're going to find what success is for you. We'll be taking your call right after this short break, 844-200-3264. Again, that's 844-200-3264. If you've given up on your dream, I want you to tell me, what was it? How can you get towards it? What's your excuse? Let's help you move past it. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
What you see is what you get. What you hear is real. This is not a test. It's real life and how to deal with what comes at you every day. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
Now, more of the Dani Johnson Show.
Dreams deferred makes the heart sick. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. However, when desires are fulfilled, they are literally like the tree of life. It is incredible when you can discover what it was you were made to do here on this earth. Instead of living out everybody else's destiny, their dreams, that you actually find your own. One is calling out to you. Here on the Dani Johnson Show, we help you to define what is success for you, instead of you trying to be somebody that you are not. Being someone that you are not, fulfilling somebody else's dream, you becoming what others say that you need to become so that you can fulfill their dream, that ain't no way to live. Oh gosh, have I been there? Have I done that? In fact, you almost feel like you're somebody's prostitute if your life is just centered around helping somebody else fulfill that dream. And I'm talking about a tight relationship or something like that, that you're not living out your destiny, but instead you've given up yours and you are living out what you think is the right thing to do. We're taking your call live right now, 844-200-3264. I want to hear what has stopped you from achieving that dream. Have you given up? What was the dream? How can we help you succeed in it? Going over to line 2, we've got Jerry from Woodstock, Ontario. Jerry, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani.
Hi. So, what's your excuse and what's your dream?
My excuse now is that I'm too old. I was talking to Raven a little bit on Facebook there, and she saw my post, and she said, "You better call Dani Johnson." So,
how old are you, Jerry?
61.
Oh, my God. Are you serious? You are 61 years old, and you are saying you're too old? Come on.
Hey.
Wait.
I live in a truck 14 hours a day.
So?
I'm done.
So? What is the dream that you want to follow?
Well, my dream was to have my house paid off, be out of debt, and be financially independent, and then pursue some of the things that I wanted to pursue, like...
Jerry, it's totally doable. I have to tell you about a man who was at First Steps to Success giving his story, and I was shocked because I remember when I met this man all the way back in 2007. He came to a First Steps in 2007, and he would not pay attention. He followed a little bit about what I said. He did a few of the little techniques, phooey with it, forget it, and the man was already 6 figures in debt. Then, when he turned 72, he got serious at 72. He was broke at 65. Completely broke at 65.
Oh, that sounds like me.
Uh-huh. And Richard Bernie Smith is his name, and he is from Canada. Richard Bernie Smith decided to get very serious about our war on debt system and about our business building system. Do you know that in 2 years, he paid off $225,000 worth of debt. His mortgage is paid off, his cars are paid off, and he is making now a 6-figure income and has become financially independent in his 70s. Jerry?
Yeah?
There's no excuse. I had a 90-year-old woman, who was brought to the same exact seminar there to support her great-grandchildren. Her great-grandchildren convinced her to come. She comes. She realizes, I ain't dead yet. The woman starts a business and her first 3 weeks makes $4,000 at 90 years old. Not only that, she had a dream to ride motorcycles, Harleys. Guess what she's doing? Jerry,
yeah.
Quit buying that lame excuse. 61 is really young. You're only 15 years my senior, dude. Come on. You might live to be 100. Do you want to still suffer financially at 100?
No.
Exactly. Then you better get busy. You better get busy because you'll be like Mr. Barney Smith, who is at 72 going, oh my gosh. He actually didn't think he was going to live that long. He was counting on not living that long, and he went, that's it. What if I live to be 100? Do I want to carry this debt till I'm 100? No way. Then it's time to get busy, Jerry. Come on, man. I don't know if this is your first time listening on the Dani Johnson Show. I have a free book for you. Follow the recipe of my success. If you follow the recipe, you'll become debt-free. You'll make money. You'll become financially independent, and that mortgage will be paid off in the next 5 to 7 years. I promise you. I've seen hundreds of thousands of people do it. You can do this. It's a free book, so there's no excuse. Go to the website or call the phone number 866-760-8255. Again, that's 866-760-8255. Get your free copy. Start following directions. Ooh, you can do it, Jerry. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue after this.
Think a big house and a nice car make you successful? Think again. Dani can teach you what you really need to get what you want. Stay tuned for more of The Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson, and the most common question I get usually are from people who are trying to juggle their life. They've got kids who are involved in all kinds of activities. They've got business or their job, finances, trying to get out of debt, plus all their church activities and all the volunteer activities, and they're pulling their hair out going, how do I juggle this all? Man, I once lived just like that until I learned Time Secrets. Time Secrets showed me how to be able to cut my hours from 100 hours a week that I was working down to 20 hours a week and tripled my income as a direct result with what I learned. Time Secrets also showed me how to get my priorities in order, which healed up my marriage. And I became a mother that I was proud of versus becoming the mother I didn't want to be. And so if you feel like your world is running around in all kinds of different circles, you can fix that. Call 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880 for Time Secrets.
Helping you get a grip on your priorities and your focus.
The Dani Johnson Show.
Here's Dani Johnson.
Your dream is alive and well, and someone else is pursuing it. Why not you? Come on. You're never too old. You're never too young. I remember having those lame excuses when I first got started in business and when I first started to dream, when I first started to pursue things. I remember thinking I was too young and I was a female and that would never work for me and no one would ever listen to me. Isn't that funny? That there I am, I'm 19 years old and I've got this long list of reasons why I will never succeed in business. This long list of excuses, which in my definition book would be a well-planned lie. My family wasn't successful. I had such a terrible past, right? My parents didn't have business. My parents weren't successful. I'll never be successful because they weren't successful. I was rejected by the church, okay? I can't even get a good job. I'll never amount to anything. My dad told me that my whole life, so I'm never going to amount to anything. I will never be anybody. I don't know the right people. Isn't it amazing how many stupid excuses we can come up with? Identify what they are, because it's keeping you from your destiny. You must not live a life of excuses. You must rise above them. You're always going to come up with reasons why you can't. You can't afford to get started in business, or you can't afford to go on vacation, or your family is heavy, so you're going to be heavy. Come on, what lame excuse do you have? Come on, there's too much competition, Dani. I wish I could sing, but there's just too much competition. No one's ever given me a chance. Ay, ay, ay. Can you tell I just spent 4 days in South Carolina? I just came back from seeing my kids and grandkids. Anissa from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Come on, what is your dream and what is holding you back, girlfriend?
Hi, Dani. This is Anissa. My dream is started off wanting to be a life coach, and it has evolved to wanting to write a book to help women that have been abused. Mm-hmm. Because I have been in that situation before, so I want to help women overcome that. Uh-huh. And I would also like to start...
Hold on. Time out. Stop right here. What page number are you on with your book?
I've wrote about 30 pages, and then I stopped.
Ah, and why do you stop?
I stopped because I've never written a book before.
Oh, whoa, time out. What about the first person who ever wrote a book?
Right.
Huh?
They've never written a book.
Ah, no way. Hold on a second. I have 3 best-selling books. Had I ever read, actually, you know what excuse I had for not writing a book?
What? That
I had dyslexia, and that, I grew up with dyslexia. I had this major learning disorder when I was a kid, and I didn't even read my first book till I was 21. Who in the world would ever read a book written by a high school dropout who did not read her first book till she was 21?
Wow.
Now we have 3 best-selling books. I have 3 more in the hot cooker right now. Hello? Huh.
Wow.
Oh, wait a second. And my books are being taught in universities around the world.
Yeah.
Anissa, finish the stupid book. And by the way, my first book was written in 2 weeks. That's Spirit-Driven Success. It was written in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And 2 weeks later, It was on a shelf.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Impossible. It's possible.
Get on with it, honey. Quit your thinking and start doing it. I want that thing done. And by the way, your first book doesn't have to be 200 pages. It doesn't have to be 159 pages. Your first book could be 50 pages. It is simple for anyone to write a book today. It really is. You can talk your book into an audio. You can then transcribe it or have somebody else, pay some high schooler to transcribe it for you. Okay? You can actually team up with Amazon. You don't even need a publisher today to promote a book. You don't even need a publisher now. You can self-publish. My first book was self-published. 60,000 copies sold the first 4 months. The book was written in 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks to make the book. It showed up on January 2nd in Nashville, Tennessee at a conference I was speaking at. 1,000 copies left, bam, just like that, and then it continued. 60,000 copies sold in 4 months without being published. Of course, the publishers came knocking on the door right after that.
Wow.
They didn't know who Dani Johnson was before that. They're like, what? That girl can sell books. I didn't sell the books. I simply wrote it. I had them made, and wow, I was shocked. Okay, so listen. There's lots of ways to do it. I have many clients who have written books. Many clients. It's time to get the thing done. Quit farting around. Quit listening to your head and start writing it. Give yourself a deadline. Pretend like you're being paid to write that book. That's actually how you will get paid once you finish that book. Do you understand? So you tell me, if I hired you to write that book, excuse me, if I hired you to write that book, would you be fancy-footing around?
Nope, I would get it done.
Really? Really? Guess what accomplishing your dream requires? Faith. It requires faith. It requires faith, Anissa. It requires faith. There is thousands of women who are not getting helped because you are choosing to doubt instead of walking by faith. Hello?
Wow.
There are women who are still stuck in that abusive marriage because you have not stepped up to write that book. Hello? Along with that book, you need videos, and all it is you and your iPhone talking into it, putting it up on YouTube. Hello? My daughter right now is making $500 a week from a finance book that she wrote. It's an ebook even. It's not even a physical book. Making $500 a week. She's got a YouTube channel. She talks about the topic. Bam, people buy the book. There are women who are being punched in the face today, Anissa. There are children who are witnessing this, Anissa. Choose doubt, and more women will be abused. Choose faith, and women will escape as you have escaped the abusive situation you were in. Which one will you choose? Pick one now.
Yeah, I'm going to choose to help them.
Get on with it. Then get off the phone with me and start typing. And within 30 days, I want that thing done. My daughter wrote her book in 2 days. 2 days, locked herself in her bedroom. She had my other daughter come and take care of the kids. She locked herself in the bedroom. Brrr, short little 50-page deal. She's made thousands and tens of thousands of dollars from it now. Do not mess around with this anymore. Get on with it now. Do you understand me, young lady?
Yes,
okay.
I do. Thanks, Dani. You've raised my belief in myself, so I appreciate that.
All right. I can't wait I want a copy. I want a copy.
And I'm going to let you know when it's finished.
30 days it better be finished.
Yes, ma'am.
Get it done. Get it done. Get it done as though you are being paid tens of thousands of dollars to write the book. That's the only way tens of thousands of dollars are going to come into your bank account for writing the book, is if you're writing it as though you're already been hired, already been paid. So get on with doing it with excellence and diligence. Awesome. I'm proud of you. I can't wait to get my copy. This is Dani Johnson. Come on, what dreams have you put on the shelf and what excuses have you been using? Come on now. What are they? I'm gonna get in your face on this one because I know that if I could succeed, anybody can. I know who I wasn't. I was the most unlikely to succeed. I was the most unpopular girl in school. I was rejected by the church. I was dejected by society. I'm a part of every bad statistic that exists. A divorced woman in my first marriage, okay? Abused as a child, sexually abused, verbally abused, okay? Financially abused in marriage. I'm a part of every bad statistic, okay? I grew up on welfare. I ended up homeless. I know that it is possible for you to succeed in your destiny. And the only thing stopping you is your excuses. So what's your excuse? Be done with it. There's people waiting for you on the other side of your success. There's people waiting for you to get over these lame excuses and become what your destiny has called you to be. Because your destiny is not about you, friend. And my destiny is not about me. Your destiny and my destiny is about other people and who will be impacted because of it. Now, Dani, I'm an inventor. I'm inventing things. So did Bill Gates. So did Steve Jobs. So did the Marx Brothers. So did the rest of the inventors. And what would our lives be today if they had not invented what they invented? I would not be able to FaceTime my grandchildren if they did not invent FaceTime. Anyway, this is Dani Johnson. We're going to continue with you and your excuses right after this.
Don't just stand there. Soak this up. It's joy, it's encouragement, it's insight to a better life and how to meet your obligations and overcome obstacles.
The Dani Johnson Show.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
We're back. Here's Dani Johnson.
Have you messed up really bad? Have you just had a big failure? Or right now, are you having some big success? Regardless of where you're at, today's show of Redefining Success is for you. Why? We're talking about your dream, your destiny, that thing that calls out of you that says you gotta do this thing, and you keep ignoring it. You keep trying to lull it to sleep with some Toll House cookies. Yeah, you keep trying to shut it up with some ice cream. Your dream, your destiny is saying, come on, there's more to life than what I'm living. That voice that you keep trying to shut up with a Netflix video. That can't be you, friend. I used excuses, and throughout my life, you hit a major wall and something isn't going the way you want it to. The tendency is to say, forget it, it must not be meant to be. Let me tell you something. That statement in itself is the voice of poverty. It's the voice of a victim. The victim says, I have no control over my life. I have no control over my mouth. I have no control over what I put in my mouth. The victim says, I have no control over my finances. It's such a lie. You have control over what you think. You have control over what you do. You have control over how you act. You have control over how you treat people. You have control whether or not you step up right this minute and walk towards your dream. You have control. And it's up to you to step up and go for it. So what excuse are you using to hold you back? That's what I want to know. All right, so I got Barbara from Oklahoma. Barbara, what excuse are you using to hold you back?
Well, maybe you can help me figure that one out. I'm not really sure where I am or where I stand right now, if my dream has died. The last time that we had spoken, you had given me advice on my job. I'd been here for 22 years, a state worker, just hated it and, wanted to get out. And so, you really gave me an advice that I need to do my job as unto the Lord and to stop procrastinating and change my attitude. And so I did all of that. And
how long ago was this, Barbara? How long ago was this?
It was just probably about a month ago.
Okay.
So now what I find myself doing is, for the first time in years, I've had some long-term thinking about my position here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a little bit confusing to me because I guess in my mind, to be able to reach my dreams, I need finances.
What's the dreams?
So,
What's the dreams that you think you have?
well, I want to have some land, and I want to help kids with disabilities with animal therapy, and I also want to have a garden, a really big garden, built up off the ground where we could bus people out from nursing homes to be able to just kind of tool around in the garden, make them feel like, you know, they're wanted and loved still, at the same time minister to them about Jesus so that they know where they're going before.
Okay, let's pause right here. Let's stop right here. Okay, I love that you've called in about this. Okay, I love it. So I would like to know right now, how many elderly are you bringing to a garden situation where you are ministering to them about your God now?
Probably just one, my neighbor.
One. And how many developmentally disabled kids are you volunteering your time to now?
Well, I was working at a school with kids with disabilities, but because of my job location change,
You just gave me an excuse. You just gave me an excuse. Nice try. Your job has nothing to do with it. How many developmentally disabled children are you volunteering your time to now?
None right now.
Thank you very much. The way to go after your dream is to start with what you can do now. Right now. Prospering where you're planted. The same exact thing I told you a month ago about your job, right?
Yes.
Something about a government job provides a beautiful pension, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know if I could go that far.
No, they actually provide a great pension. I don't care what you say. They provide a good pension. Here's another thing. Depending on how you manage your finances now, and depending on what your attitude is like now and the skill sets that you have now working for the long term, you could be amassing all kinds of money to save for that land that you want to have eventually, where you're helping developmentally disabled kids. And where you have this garden where you can bring the elderly in and keep them functioning and gardening and being able to share your faith with them. But see, if you are not starting now with what you have and where you're at, you'll never reach that destiny. So right now you have a great paying job that has a good future retirement. I'm not saying you have to stay there till retirement, but I'm simply saying this. Prosper where you're planted in that job, and now begin to volunteer your time to some developmentally disabled kids and some elderly. You begin to prosper there, and all of a sudden, as you are sowing time and money into those places, those things will begin to grow. But when you abandon that field altogether, what grows in the field of taking care of developmentally disabled kids? Weeds. Yeah. What grows in the field of having that garden that you can be helping the elderly with? Weeds. So you have to start sowing your time in what you have now to do that. The land is on its way. Being able to do that and function full time is on its way. But it only starts with 1 hour at a time right now with what you got. Okay, look, when I was homeless, right? I was staying homeless. I was a homeless, fat, broke woman who was drinking, doing drugs, and sleeping around. All of a sudden, one day, I said, no more. I'm done. And although my whole need at that time was to make enough money to get into an apartment, and I needed about $4,000 to do that, okay? I couldn't do that staying at my full-time job. I needed to supplement my income so I could move into an apartment now versus staying homeless for another 30 days. When staying homeless was no longer an option to me, I did what was in front of me. And there was a business that was in front of me that I did not want to do. It was not appealing to me. Goodness gracious, Barbara, I can't imagine if I said no to that business that was staring me in the face. Mm-hmm. You have a dream. It's staring you in the face. Are there elderly people in your area that you can be spending time with and sharing your faith with?
Yeah.
There's one that's going to die next week. and they never heard the name of Jesus. And it's because you're waiting for land. Really? Is there a garden you can take them to that somebody else might have?
Well,
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. You see, when you are bent on going after it, you will find the set of circumstances you need to make it come to pass. You're allowing circumstances to keep you from your destiny. Start now. Got it? Start now. Set a goal. How many elderly do you want to help? How many developmentally disabled kids do you want to serve? Set it. Start it immediately. Set your hours up and start doing it, and you're going to find, oh my gosh, your heart is going to be overwhelmed with great joy, and all of a sudden, all the doors are going to start opening in the direction that they need to open. This is Dani Johnson, Redefining Success. We'll continue with more after this.
Achieve success. Keep an open mind for new ideas and approaches in your business. Dani Johnson can help you keep an open mind, so don't go away.
I just heard this amazing story. One of our clients had written us telling us that they had used job domination and unlimited success and has absolutely exploded their career. He said, Dani, I don't know where I'd be today without job domination and unlimited success. Listen, do you want more recognition from your coworkers? Do you want to be recommended to people all over the world? Do you want to be somebody that is highly sought after? Listen, if you're in a dead-end place where this gentleman found himself, but then learned new strategies and changed everything in his work life, and obviously this has resulted in higher bonuses and pay raises, you're next. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Job Domination right now. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Job domination, that's what you need. It's time for you to dominate the job market and break through the rut that you're in.
Is this the way you should live your life?
Be strong, but not rude.
Be kind,
But not weak. Be bold, but not a bully. Be thoughtful.
but not lazy.
Be humble, but not timid. Be proud, but not arrogant. To have humor, but without folly.
Get real lessons on life, finances, relationships. Get real with Dani Johnson.
Dani Johnson.
The Dani Johnson Show.
Dani Johnson Show. Dani Johnson Show.
What is your definition of the American dream? Or the Canadian dream? Or the Australian dream? Or the European dream? The Italian dream? The French dream? The Switzerland dream? The Norway dream? The Denmark dream? Like, I don't know. What's your dream? What is calling out to you that you are not doing? What kind of barriers have you built all around you? What walls have you created around you to keep you from going after that thing that is haunting you? You know there's something haunting you. You know there's a voice inside of you that is saying there has to be more to life than what I'm living. Is this really what it's all about? Is this it? A job? A family? Bills? Soccer games on Saturday? Church on Sunday? Is this really it? No, it's not it. There's so much more. There's more opportunity out there today than there ever has been. And now that we live in a global economy, that has created so much opportunity for everybody globally. It is incredible that the boundaries and the barriers have been torn down with things such as smartphones, tablets, and computers. The internet has created an open playing field that if somebody has some drive, passion, desire, and a dream, a focus, a goal, they can achieve anything. Oh, Dani, quit with your rah-rah session. This ain't no rah-rah session, honey. I'm asking you one question. What are you going to do with your life? And how long do you want to stay stuck in a rut? How long do you want to be a bump on a log? That is not why you were put on this planet, friend. You were put on this planet to do something great. Dani, not everyone is designed to do something great. Hey, who said the definition of what great is? Listen, we all have a destiny. That destiny is calling you by your first, middle, and last name. There is also something else calling you by your first, middle, and last name. Distractions, excuses, limitations, circumstances. What you focus on is what you get good at. So what are you focused on today? Tell me. Are you focusing on getting yourself to your destiny, or are you focused on the potholes that are in the road that are delaying your arrival? Are you focused on the problems? Here on the Dani Johnson Show, we redefine success. Success, you've heard, is a journey, not a destination. It's a journey filled with all kinds of circumstances. Those who actually achieve great success are the ones that chose not to wallow in their pain and suffering, but to make something great out of it, to pull a great story out of it. The people who have had great success have had great failures, and those great failures help them actually to achieve great success. If you've had great failures, you got a recipe that's going to work for you because you have found the recipe of what not to do. And every failure that you and I have had has a purpose in it. And that purpose is to draw better out of you and out of others. We're talking about what is your definition of your American dream, Canadian dream, whatever it is, whatever country it is that you are viewing this radio and television show from. If you're listening online or on our app at DaniJohnson.com, if that's how you're listening to this, you might be in Rome, you might be in Brazil, you might be in Central America. What is the dream that has been sold to your people? What dream are you chasing? Is it yours or is it somebody else's? I want you to define what is yours. Because once you get on your path, you're going to have some amazing success. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have failures. No, it means you will. You will have failures. Oh, clearly you will have failures. But those failures are designed to bring you to a greater place of success, not to bury you, but greater places of success. All right, I'm handling phones today, talking to you as you share with me what is stopping you. What is stopping you from reaching your destiny? I know you got to be going crazy. You do. Because you know you're not happy living a mediocre life. You know you are not happy being in a rut. You know it. That's why you're on antidepressants. Because you're not living out the life you were given to live. Yes. You ain't doing it. Throw away the pills. Start getting on the road to where you're supposed to be. Line 1, we have Dawn from Elizabeth, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So, what's your excuse, child? Come on now, Dawn, talk to me.
I think what was holding me back was my past. My stepdad told me I was never good enough.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I mainly called today just to thank you because in 2010 I tried to end my life. And then, you know, I seen you on TV in 2011, and I was kind of like, you know, I got your book. And, you know, I read it, and it started for me. I wanted to find myself at that point. And it wasn't until March 1st of this year when I attended Orlando.
First Steps to Success, you came out? So awesome.
Yes. Which was funny because I started a home-based business at that time. And the first thing I wanted to do was get to that event. I said, I don't care how I was getting there. As soon as I made that money, I bought the ticket. Wow. I had no idea how I was getting there, but I bought that ticket. I said, I'm going to find a way to get there. And I did. Everything just come into place. But that healing process started March 1st when I was down there.
On my birthday.
Yes.
Yes.
But from that time, I found clarity and what I wanted to do in life, and I began to find my worth again. So for that, Dani, I wanted to say thank you.
Amen. Amen. Yeah. How does that feel, Dawn? Because 3 years ago, you tried to end your life. Actually, 4 years ago, you tried to end your life. Right. You were so hopeless. I've been there, girl. Gosh, you know, I've been there. So hopeless. So down and out. So much pain, right? It feels like there's a Rambo knife being shoved inside of your gut in between your ribs, being pulled out, pushed back in, pulled out, pushed back in. The pain is so deep when we become completely hopeless and filled with despair. How does it feel to be who you are today, that you found clarity, you have found worth?
Amazing, because I never thought that I would feel this way again, that I would start to find myself and want to do things. Like I've been a stay-at-home mom for 10 years, taking care of my son who has special needs, and from all of that, like I knew that I wanted to help people, but I had no idea how. I had no idea how to give that back or anything, but this has still been a process for me, but you have helped that. Me reading that book and being able to do that. I was able to launch our website last year. Next week, I'm getting ready to launch another online business to help small businesses, and if I would have took that book and read that book, there's no words, Dani, for what you do for people. You've got the community you have built, the people that have come into my life because of that. There's no words for that.
Well, as I was saying earlier, first of all, thank you. And honestly, I'm nothing apart from the God that I serve. Nothing. And he has built this community that you love. He's drawn you by his love. He formed you in your mother's womb. When he looks upon you, he says, that's my girl. That's my girl. She's the way I made her, and I love her just the way she is. That same God that gave me a chance to clean up my life, to believe again, to seek him out, that same God calls out to all of us. He's our Father, our true Father, who desires for us to know how much he loves us. And the fact is that from being a suicidal person that I was, I'm amazed of how he used my failures. And that's what he uses, Dawn. He uses our failures to speak into the lives of other people. He uses our filthiness, that what he set us free from, the pit we're being pulled out of. He uses what other people reject, he uses to help others who are in the same place. So I count it just complete joy, my failures. Even the failures I'm having right now in my life, the place of what I don't know how to handle some of the things that the changes that are happening in my family, I just don't know how to handle them. But here's what I know, that this suffering or these problems or these circumstances, what I know is that he will use them to pull somebody out of the same situation he's pulling me out of right now. So Dawn, one day you are going to hear the words that you just spoke to me. One day you're going to have somebody that you have inspired, that your life has become a life that one looks to and says, if she can do it, so can I. If she could do it, so can I. What do I have to do? Tell me what I have to do and I'll do it. One day, Dawn, somebody will be looking at you with tears rolling down their face saying, thank you for all that you've done for me. That day's coming. Okay, so I'm a mess. Yeah. Listen, you must go after that destiny that's calling out to you, because there's people waiting on the other side for you. They're waiting. They're waiting. So if you're in a place of failure right now, get through it. Get through it with a fullness of faith. Kick discouragement to the side. Kick despair to the side. You're done with that. Kick lack of vision to the curb. You're done with that. You know that this destiny is calling out to you. And what else is calling? That thousands of others are going to be impacted when you live out yours. This is Dani Johnson. We're going to be taking more of your calls. What is your biggest excuse that is keeping you from being who you were born to be? What is it? We know based on history that God does crazy and wild things with us filthy human beings. You'll be another one that does some great, crazy, wild things. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
You can't be the old person you used to be and the new person you want to become. Let go of the past and hang on for what's new and exciting and about to come into your life. Stay tuned to The Dani Johnson Show. There's more to come.
Call now, 888-757-8880. I'm going to send you our report on how to feed your family on $100 a week. Get this hot thing in your hand now and you can begin to save hundreds of dollars just on your food bill. No clipping coupons, no way. I'm talking about simple little things that still, even my position, I'm still able to feed my family on $100 a week or less. You are going to learn how to do the same thing. 888-757-8880. Call now. Get your copy of this report.
Get ready to live the uncommon life. Here's Dani Johnson.
A human without a vision will perish. That's the truth. Written from the best success book ever written. There's been times in my life where I've lost all vision, lost all hope, and just knew that I knew that whatever it was just gonna fail. My life had taught me that failure was the most common thing to my reality. I'm happy to say the failure is no longer the most common thing to my reality. And if you're in that rut, it's time to get out of it. Identify what excuse is holding you back from going after the thing that you desire to go after. Here on the Dani Johnson Show, 6 days a week on television or radio, and 7 days a week on the website DaniJohnson.com, we are redefining success. We're helping you to define what that is for you so you stop wearing somebody else's idea of success, but instead you go after what you were designed to do. For years, I followed somebody else's plan for success, and I ended up with a massive headache, heartaches, a nervous breakdown. Yeah, heart attack at 24 and 25. Almost divorced for the second time. It was a disaster because I was trying to live out somebody else's dream instead of defining my own. You see, if you do not design your life, you will live it by default. You will. You'll live out somebody else's design. But see, you were designed for something great. You were designed with a destiny. And that very makeup, that very design calls out to you. Just like this, my friend. What is an eagle designed to do? The eagle is designed to soar. It was put together with all the right parts. It's very design, it's very manufacturing, it's very makeup. Has everything to soar. But what also comes with the design is a desire. Every design comes already fitted with a desire. Therefore, the desire reveals the design, and the design reveals the destiny. That's how it works. The destiny of the eagle is soaring. You see, the design of the eagle helps him soar, but see, without the desire to soar, they'd be on the ground like a chicken. They would. They would. So what is your deepest desire? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Now, we often get confused because we are sold through the media what the American dream or the Canadian dream or the European dream, we are sold an ideal. We are sold a vision. And unfortunately, currently, the American dream somehow has gone from freedom for our next generation, freedom of speech. I don't care. I don't want this dictator of a king ruling over me anymore. I'm willing to sacrifice my life. I'm willing to leave my farm. I'm willing to leave it all behind so that my children can grow up in a country where they have freedom, where they have freedom of speech and we have freedom to worship our God. Freely we can worship that God. That we're not going to be told what God to worship, but that we can freely make that decision for ourselves. That we can not be overtaxed and have tons of taxation without representation. We are tired of being mistreated and oppressed by our king. We're out of here. So the American dream is still alive today. Unfortunately, it's been changed. It's been changed. The American dream today is, I want a house over in that neighborhood over there with that white picket fence and those columns and that swing. And I want that sprawling lawn that's perfectly cut in that dark, dark, rich green. I want those granite countertops. And I have to have a Mercedes in the garage. And our kids need to go to a private school. Yeah, and we need to go on a luxurious vacation twice a year. And my American dream is shopping at Nordstrom and Saks Fifth Avenue and Bloomingdale's. And my American dream is eating out every day for lunch. I'm sorry to tell you, but that American dream is broken. It's broken. You've been sold somebody else's American dream. You see, who told us that the American dream consisted of buying a big fancy house? The real estate brokers. Yeah. Who sold us that our dream vacation was supposed to be brought to us by MasterCard, Visa, or American Express? The credit card holders. Yeah, the creditors. They sold us a lie. They sold us bondage. So here on the Dani Johnson Show, you need to define and design the success you want for your life. Stop living somebody else's dream. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue after this.
Good people bring out the good in people. And you're sharing great moments with thousands of good people right now. There's more of the Dani Johnson Show coming up. Stay here.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
No excuses, just results. And now, back to more of the Dani Johnson Show.
Excuses are well-planned lies. Yep, that's what that millionaire said to me 27 years ago. He said it to hundreds of people. I was sitting in a room in a very uncomfortable chair with a notepad on my lap as I was viciously taking notes. I wanted so desperately not to end up on welfare as my family had spent most of their lives. I wanted so desperately not to end up the drug addicts that I had experienced, the alcoholics that I had experienced, the broken lives that I had experienced, all the pain, the suffering, the screaming every Sunday at my nanny's house. Every Sunday as she'd throw plates at my stepfather, cursing him out in Italian. I wanted so desperately not to live that life. So there I was. I made an investment. I did. Money I did not have. Yes, I used my credit cards, and I went to that seminar. I went to many more after that, and I'm telling you, I do not know where I would be today if I hadn't done that. However, I did pick up some really important business tips. I got a good education. But I also picked up some things that were just bad, just downright bad. And one of the things I picked up was living out somebody else's dream. Somebody told me what my dream was supposed to look like. And so there I was following it, right? Oh, I need a house now. I got to make more money so I can have a nice car. I got to make more money so I can have new clothes. I got to make more money so I can spend $1,200 on dinner for my friends every week. I need to make more money. Yeah. Because he told me that's what was success. Oh gosh, when that whole thing came crashing down, I came to a reality check that none of that had anything to do with success. And I began to define success for me. Oh yes, a totally different way of living. Totally different. Along the way, yeah, we became very successful in business, making millions, but giving millions of dollars away, living a very simple life. Without all the stresses of that $150,000 landscaping deal. Gosh, you should see my yard right now, actually. Yeah, the grass is a little taller right now. We just got a lot of rain and a lot of sun. It makes things grow pretty fast. But nonetheless, geez, keeping up with the Joneses stinks. That doesn't have to be your dream. So what is yours? What is your design for your life, for your destiny? Quit living somebody else's. Line 3, we have Victoria from New York. Victoria, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. What's your dream?
Well, thank you. My dream, well, part of it's being realized now. I finally am able to be a stay-at-home mom with my husband's first baby.
Wait, time out right now. How does that feel? to achieve
Wonderful.
that dream, right? Right?
Wonderful.
I met a guy on a plane on my way to South Carolina last week. And he's a real driven guy. He's in sales, and his wife is also in sales, and they just had a baby, and the baby's now a year old. And I just said, so you and your wife work full time? He says, yeah. I said, so who takes care of the baby? Oh, daycare. My wife, she goes crazy at home. There's no way she could be at home. See, that's her deal. But yours, right? And here's what happened. Women get confused. So they see other women working, and they see the houses and the cars and all of that stuff, and then they go and they try to live out somebody else's destiny, somebody else's design, somebody else's idea of success, only to come up with a burden and empty and longing to be someplace else. So I'm so proud of you that you knew in your heart of hearts that you were designed to be home with that baby.
Yep, and I had to battle with women who were like, oh, well, you're going to stay home. Why would you stay home when you have the opportunity to work? And I was like, you know what, God gave me the ability to stay home, and my husband and I are debt-free. So, you know, we don't have to worry about paying a mortgage or paying off our cars or paying credit cards because we don't use them. So that's a huge stressor, taking it totally out of our marriage.
Yes.
And that makes a huge difference for us.
Yes. You really are living it, girl.
I try.
You are. You're living it. So wait, tell me, how does it feel to have no mortgage, no credit cards, and no car payment?
Amazing.
Tell me how.
Well, I grew up in a very poor house, much like yourself. And we didn't have much. I was homeless for a period of time, and you know, so not having anything and then coming and I've always worked really hard and put myself through college and have always had a full-time job. And so knowing that I don't have to worry about, oh, am I going to have enough money to, you know, pay my car payment or pay for repair on my car or my husband's car or get groceries or pay my electric bill. Like, there's no fear in that because we have all of those things covered. We have an emergency fund. We have, you know, we have a huge safety net. If something were to happen to either of us for a period of time, we would be covered. And so that gives us a lot of peace for me to be able to stay home, but also for my husband and I to both pursue dreams for our family.
Yep. What do you recommend to that mom that has that yearning inside of her to be home with her babies? Yet she's got those naysaying other moms and a culture that is saying, really? What would you do that for? Don't you want a bigger house? Don't you want a newer car? Don't you want more expensive clothes? You're crazy for staying home. What do you say to that woman who's receiving that kind of ridicule and judgment with her desire to stay home?
I would say, remember that God gave you that desire. Those women have nothing on God, for one. And two, we're raising another generation. And I would prefer the generation that I'm raising not to be self-centered, to have a good education, to not think that they have to live in debt, that they have to live in fear, that they have to buy more things. Because you know what? Your houses are going to come and go. Your cars are going to come and go. But the impact that you have on your children and the world around you is much bigger and much more worthwhile than anything that you could buy or work for.
Yep. No question. I'm so proud of you, Victoria. Thank you so much. That was a perfect time to take your call today. So many people are not living out their dream, and they just think it's impossible. They think it's impossible. But it sounds to me like you diligently worked towards this. You know, both of you and your husband working hard, being smart with money, making sure not to go into foolish debts, paying off school stuff, paying off houses, all of that stuff, and saving for the future. That's smart. That's just smart. And you know what? I would take you up against somebody else who is doing what? Chasing somebody else's dream. They're not even chasing their own dream. There's so many moms who are chasing the neighbor's dream and the facade of the dream, which says, I want to shop every weekend at the mall. That says, click add to cart for another pair of shoes. Click add to cart for another blouse. And all for what? They're totally miserable. Victoria, have you not encountered the miserable women that are out there?
Oh, more than you can. I'm sure you understand. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was a nanny for a long time as well.
Oh,
and,
talk to me. Talk to me. Yeah.
I have some stories from situations I've ended up in, but, just, miserable mom after a miserable marriage, after a miserable shopping experience. Yeah. It's heartbreaking, and I think that's one more motivation for me to be able to stay home and love on our children. Yeah. Because I just have seen the damage that wanting to pursue stuff has caused. Yeah. Not only the damage in people's marriages, but for their kids and for their extended families. And it's heartbreaking.
It is. It is.
And to realize that it's just stuff. And, I can teach you how to buy really awesome stuff on a budget. Yep. I can teach you how to look good, on a budget. I can teach you how to shop and get Ann Taylor stuff and Bananas Republic stuff and, wear some nice Kohan shoes on a budget and look fabulous doing it. Yep. Yep.
And unfortunately, people let the pleasures of life and the cravings of their life to drive them into debt and away from the destiny that's calling out to them. Mm-hmm. It's sad, and yet it is so simple as you have experienced. It's so simple to get all that you want. If you're willing to learn, you're willing to define, you're willing to go after it, you can get it. But one of the first most important things to do is to ask yourself the question, whose dream am I really following? Whose dream am I following? Is this really what I want? What do I really want? It's important to figure that out. Otherwise, you spend your life living somebody else's life, and it sucks. Been there, done that. You don't want to do that. Thanks so much, Victoria, for joining us today. We appreciate you. This is Dani Johnson. So, life by design or by default? Choice is yours. Choice is yours. And you got to weigh your ego with your bank account and figure out which one weighs more. There are so many people out there following the dream that has been sold to sold by the popular to the massive amount of population. And somehow we feel like, oh, we don't fit in if we're not doing that, right? That's what we do. We think, well, if I'm not working and I'm a mother, then I don't fit in. I'm missing something. I'm less of a woman if I want to stay home with my kids. No, you're more of a woman if you're staying home with your kids. Oh, I know, I just made somebody mad. No, and why? Because if you're doing what is in your heart to do, if that's what you were designed for, go after it with all that you got. You'll work the rest out. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Hey, have you done a favor for your best friend yet? Then do it now. Share this program with them. The Dani Johnson Show, helping hundreds of thousands of people just like you make life more enjoyable and rewarding. The Dani Johnson Show.
I'm so blessed that I found what is in Grooming the Next Generation for Success. This is a book that is being taught in universities around the world. It's been noted as the best book on parenting that has ever been written. Crazy, if you ask me. But the point is that this thing gets results. Get your copy today, 888-757-8880. Again, that's 888-757-8880. Or go to DaniJohnson.com. That's DANI Johnson.com. Get your copy today.
We're back. Here's Dani Johnson.
I'm too old. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. I'm too young. What's your excuse as to why you're not living your life by design and living it by default? What have you allowed to creep into your head, either that other people have said to you or that you've said to yourself, that has kept you stuck in a rut miserably, doing something you don't want to do? There's a destiny that calls out to you, friend. Here on the Dani Johnson Show, 6 days a week on TV and radio, we are redefining success and giving you a path so you can get on to doing what you're supposed to be doing. We kind of debunk all the popular myths out there concerning success, because you and I have been sold a bill of goods. We've been sold even a pile of manure, my friends. I know I did in the very beginning of my years of success. Man, I was sold all kinds of rubbish that ended up just stinking, costing me a portion of my life. A portion of failures came from following wrong information. But it's okay. Today's a new day. We can start over, hit reset, refresh, and go after it. Doesn't matter how old or how young you are. So what's been stopping you, Alexander from Switzerland today? Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
So good. And by the way, Switzerland's a beautiful country. I've spent quite a bit of time over there. Absolutely gorgeous place. The mountains, oh my goodness. Obviously the lake, incredible. The rivers, everything. You live in a beautiful country. Alexander, thanks for calling in. So tell me, what excuse has been standing in your way?
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Well, I grew up in usually when I hear your calls, I feel very much with you because I grew up in a similar home. Not exactly, but my mother always told me how stupid I am and that I'm not good enough, and my teachers told me the same. And so in a very early age, I gave up on all my dreams. I thought, well, dreams are, in German there is a saying, Träume sind Schäume, like dreams are foams. And that's what I believed, and dreams are just there to dream, and that's it. And there's no way to get ever to live a dream.
Wow.
But somehow, deep inside, I never really bought into that. Somewhere deep inside, I knew it's just not true. It's not possible like that. So then, finally, I came to this home business venue, and I saw people, they're living their dreams, and they're telling others to live their dreams, and there was such a new mindset for me. It was so amazing.
So tell me, what is one of your dreams, Alexander, from Switzerland?
God, I have many dreams.
Just give me one.
Right now, maybe the main thing, the main dream is to break through with my business.
Why?
I started in the home business.
Why? Why do you want to make more money in business? Meaning money is not a dream, okay? Money is a goal. And the goal is to help you to achieve the dream. So I want to hear about the dream, not the goal.
Okay. The dream is to have time with my children, with my family. Like plenty of time to be able to travel the world, to pay the dentist when they need to go to the dentist, to like all these things.
Yes. Okay, so Alexander, here's what I want to know now. I want to set you on a path of achieving that now. Okay? Because the way success works, I will tell you, see, I was sold this pile of goods of sacrifice my family, sacrifice my health, sacrifice the time that I spend with them for 7 years, and that if I work really hard around the clock for 7 years, then when I pick up my head, I could write a check for whatever problem it was that I created in those 7 years, because I will have so much money that I could do anything I wanted to do in life. I found that out to be a huge lie. Huge, ginormous lie. I could not write a check to give me back the time lost with my kids. I couldn't write a check for my nervous breakdown to go away. I couldn't write a check to erase the heart attack that I had. Couldn't write a check to heal all the pain and suffering I'd caused my husband with my evil attitude and all the stress that I brought into my family, into my home, of not only the stress that because I was so wicked, but the stress from our heart attack and my nervous breakdown. I couldn't write a check to take away the memory of me trying to end my life and my husband disarming the 2 knives that were in my hand, and my 4-year-old daughter who heard the screaming, who came out into the living room and saw her father taking knives out of her mother's hands. I can't write a check for that. I can't. So here's what I want to tell you. You can start now and today. I know right now you're thinking, but I don't have enough money to do that, Dani. I promise you, there are creative ways to do and live the life you want to live now. And what you have to do is start small. You start with whenever that budget is. Here's what I found for myself and the thousands and hundreds of thousands of clients that I've worked with, Alexander. That people, when they have a little bit of money, they won't live out their dream. And their idea is if I make a lot of money, then I will live out my dream. But what I found is that they don't even live out their dream when they make a lot of money. They still are not spending time with their families. They are still not traveling around the world. They are still not enjoying that leisure time. But instead, they are stressed out trying to keep up with the money and chasing more. But the thing that activates success is being faithful with the little things. Faithful with the little things. So if you have very little money, where could you travel to with the kids? And what could you do? One thing we did was camped. Camping is cheap. So cheap. We went to the park and had days at the park. Went walking through the city. We did things that cost no money. So we spent time together as a family with nothing. And those memories are far greater than the memories of spending tons of money or the memories of doing nothing. So it's about getting creative with the time and money that you have now and living that out now. And as you do that, because happiness opens up and gratitude opens up the vault to blessing. Ungratefulness never opens up the vault to blessing. And not only that, but if you are spending that time and you're enjoying that time with your kids and you're grateful for that time and you're making the absolute best and the most of it, you'll never guess what happens. It builds your confidence as a father, as a provider. It builds your faith to believe in yourself. I promise you, your kids are not going to love you more if you make more money, but they're going to love you as big as the sky because you read some books to them, had a picnic, and took them camping. This is Dani Johnson. Thanks so much for joining us today. I hope today was helpful and beneficial. Get over your excuses and start living the dream today. God bless. Have a great day.
We want to thank you for listening to The Dani Johnson Show. We hope you found inspiration, answers, and hope to renew your happiness in life and learned how to make the most of today and tomorrow. Join us again on the next Dani Johnson Show.
I remember being homeless and broken in every way and being overloaded with financial pressure, the pressure that I was a failure, the social pressure, everything that I felt like was crashing down on top of me. And at the same time, I felt so alone until I learned the strategies of first steps to success. You have the chance, my friend, to annihilate all of your debt. Think about that. You have the chance to grow your income through your current career or even learning to start a brand new business that will be profitable. You also have the chance for learning how to motivate the people that are in your life that are driving you crazy and how to have significant breakthrough, not only spiritually, but physically, financially, and socially, and business-wise. And so I'm excited to see you at First Steps to Success. It's coming up January 17th through the 19th. Get yourself registered today, 888-757-8880. There's a seat with your name on it, friend. 888-757-8880.